Good morning. Good morning. Hold on. All right, we're back. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. I've got a little special mission today versus just the normal low board stuff. Throughout the day when I'm not booking loads, I got people that call me. I got good friends that call me, and they either vent to me, or I'm a shoulder to cry on, or we have some really good, deep discussions about life, politics, economy, business, and that's the kind of people you want to surround yourself, people that have kind of the same ideology you do. But it's also good to have people that look outside of your normal box, right? And yeah, so it's I want you to think about things outside of the box when it comes to trucking, when it comes to health. Losing 120 pounds ain't no small feat. If you don't believe me, go watch an old video. Type in Snorelord IRP and look at my short bearded fat self. Anyway, so I know a couple of things, right? I don't let my ego get the best of me, but every now and then I have to sit there and pat myself on the back for a few things. And one of the things that I kind of look at is I kind of view things differently. I shared on my community page something from Timcast about food and stuff like that, and kind of shows along the same lines. I think I shared that. I don't know. I'll have to look. But anyways, I don't want to just be one dimensional. There's more than just that truck behind me. That's a part of me, right? I'm a metalhead. I got my Iron Maiden shirt. And anyways, I'm rambling now. We'll do some shout outs and then we'll get into it, because as you probably saw from the title, talking about EIDL loans, and something popped up with me. Something popped up in my head the other day. I was thinking about that. So make sure you hit the thumbs up on the way in. And if you don't like this video, hit the thumbs down twice, because you hate me so much. Do that. Okay. Anyways, let's do some shout outs, and then we'll get right to it. Let more people come in here. And I don't plan on putting the link out to let anybody in, so there shouldn't be any of those kind of discussions. But we'll see what kind of I've got a pretty busy morning ahead of me. I've got and then we got the Slipknot concert we're going to tonight. So imagine that, Metalhead going to a show. It'll be my youngest first concert for them. We're gonna it. So I'm not I have some Slipknot albums, and a couple of those guys are related to the old death metal scene of Springfield, Missouri. So I'll probably see some old friends. But anyways, let's get to it. Sterling, good morning. You were the first one in here before I even went live. So I imagine that once I hit the button on StreamYard, before I even hit start broadcast, YouTube puts the notification up. So that's interesting. Running Aces, good morning. Ninja, morning. Max Force, good morning. Bull of the Woods, what's up? Greg Zimmer, greetings from Montana. Yeah, you're there's some record heat going on out west there. Maybe not Montana, but I know in Washington. Move freight, stay safe, get paid, go home. There you go. Simple as that, right? Simple as that. Sam, what's up? Greetings from Sparks, Nevada. Got to jump Donner this morning, go home tonight, 3 to 5 days off. Well, good on you, man. Good on you. Trucker Gal, your first Snorelord live. What's up? I don't know how much this will be interesting to you, but we don't just talk about owner operator stuff. We do talk about other stuff. So, but good to see you in here, Don. What's up? I've been enjoying your channel, by the way. You've got the YouTube thing going on, man. You know what you're doing there, so that's good. And I like the fact that you're showing workout in the truck. It is possible to work out and get and stay healthy in the truck. When I lost my 120 pounds, that was while I was driving full time. So, Don, good morning. Cool trucking. Hey, Steve, what's cracking? What's up, man? Nat Ninja, what's up? Pneumatic Brit, good to see you, my friend. Stuart, what's happening? Sick Semper Tyrannus, what's up? Desert Okie Pam, good morning. Big Rick CO gives me the 3 thumbs down. That's not good. That's not good. Dwayne, what's up? Sterling says you ain't metal till you've gone to a Peter Noon concert. What the hell's that? Jeremy Rice, I think COVID would be a great death metal band name. Yeah, you'd hit all the algorithms, right? Or COVID death, something like that. Anyways, so before I get into the low board stuff, I want to know. So full disclosure, I got an EIDL loan. Okay, if you don't know what that is, that was a loan that they put out, government money from the SBA. Usually it's very difficult to get an SBA loan, Small Business Association. But, during the vid, they opened the floodgates and said, hey, apply. Right? So I wasn't originally going to apply because I wasn't really hurting for anything, right? I wasn't shut down. I never got the vid, at that time, and it didn't really affect my freight. It did and it didn't, right? And a friend of mine said, hey, you know what? You need to do this. Like, so, because sometimes I blindly listen to my friends. But so I filled out the application. I think I filled it out wrong because I only got like $10,600. That was my EIDL loan. And everybody else around me got like 50, 60, 80. I know one person that got over $100,000. Now imagine, especially if you live, modest like I do, getting $100,000. All of a sudden, just here you go, do what you want. Pause. How long did it take for you to lose 120? About a year. Took me about a year. Doing the ketogenic, low carb, don't put crap in your system diet. Please tell us which video seek out your weight loss journey. Is it on OG? No, it's on this channel. I want you to type in Snorelord Struggle is Real, Sterling. That was the video that started it. And then just kind of go through the list from there. I believe I put it in a playlist. I might have put in a playlist. And then also I did a carnivore challenge for 40 days. And I think I'm going to have to go back to that because I'm having some irritations. I got to figure out, as you can see, my skin is kind of broken out. I got to figure out what's causing that. And carnivore diet is a great elimination diet. It's, meat is health food as long as it's not processed. Man, I just watched CDN and Sage discussion. Wow, what a show. I wish I would have caught it live. Yeah, that was on Friday, I believe. So back to the EIDL. Bing. All right. So I remember talking to somebody about their EIDL loan. And I want to say they got about 70 grand. And something to consider. So if you got the EIDL loan, you got a deferment. You didn't have to start paying it back until this year. Some people's payments are starting in October. Some are in November. Mine happens to be in December. That you should have gotten an email telling you to go to your portal, create that portal situation so you can see when your payments due and all that kind of thing. Dwayne, I kind of missed you. I'm sorry. And excuse me. And so what I did with my money was I literally just let it sit. It was my MREs in the cupboard. It was a if crap hits the fan situation. That was what I used that money for. I did not invest with it. I did not break the rules. I did not make it payroll so I can do with what I wanted with it. I didn't do any of that. Now, some of you might be saying, well, Steve, you're an idiot. You could have bought equipment, or you could have done this, or you could have done that. And so let me explain something. So back in 2020, back when we had the COVID exemptions and people could run beyond their clocks, and rates had hit just trash levels. Volumes hit trash levels. You couldn't even get into the truck stop to get a bite to eat because everything was closed. Fuel only. You couldn't, Love's had to have a person with gloves get your cup of coffee for you, that kind of thing. And what I did is I went out to a small grocery store because Walmart sucks and their supply chain was broken, and bought 2 weeks worth of food so I didn't have to worry about going beyond, getting food beyond the truck. I had other things situated to where if I couldn't find a restroom, I could deal with that. And I ran short because fuel was cheap, and I netted just about as much doing a 200-mile run than I did 600-mile run because that's how low the rates were. And and there was about a week and a half that I didn't run because we're looking at rates and we're like, this is just stupid, right? And I could afford to sit, so it wasn't a big deal. But I didn't have the vid money at that time. Now the PPP loans were going out. You could collect unemployment as a contractor for the first time, at least in Missouri. I think in other states it was. And a lot of people I know just shut their trucks down and just stayed at home. And when the rates came back tenfold in 21, that was the time, because the loan was deferred, that you should have paid that money back. Now the PPP was forgiven. There are other grants that people could have gotten, and then of course the unemployment runs out. But that should have been the time that you paid that loan back, because here's the deal. Here in December, when those payments, October, November, December, when those payments have to start, now you might sit there and say, well, it's only $400 a month, right? Yeah, for the next 30 years. So now, if you want to get that taken care of, I mean, is your trucking business going to survive the next 30 years? Are you going to make the same amount of money you are now in 30 years? So you don't want to do the full term of the loan. I mean, and this is just my opinion. I'm not a financial guru. In fact, don't take my advice. Just listen to my outside of the box thinking, okay? If so, when you made your business plan last year and you got the EIDL loan, and let's say you bought another truck or you bought another trailer, not with the loan money because that wasn't on the list of things you could do with that. But you move some money around so you can get that done. Did you account for that loan in your cost per mile, your cost per day, your cost per month? Did you put that into your fixed costs? Now, let's say your payments are $400 a month for 30 years, but let's say you want to double up on them on those payments or even triple up on those payments. Can your business handle that right now? Let's say your payments are $500 a month and you want to make it 1500. Can your business afford an extra $1500 a month right now? Did you equate that EIDL loan into your costs? The extension of credit is one of the causing factors of a recession. I'm going to show you guys something. I don't know if it'll show up on the screen. Maybe it will. Oh, can you guys see that? Probably not. Let's see if I can do it that way. That's a graph for extension of credit. This is where we're at. This was from Freight Waves. Okay. And if I was fancy, I would put this on the screen. Maybe I can do that. Let me send this to myself here. And forgive me, dead air. I know that's dumb. All right, I'm going to put this on the screen. Oh, Freight Waves doesn't have a fit about it. All right. Get my email opened up here. Internet slow. Please forgive me. Okay. All right. I'm busy doing something here, so forgive me. All right. So let's close that. Share screen. Make sure there's no sensitive information. All right. There's the graph. Okay. Let's zoom that in if I can. This is total revolving credit outstanding, United States of America. Look at what happened here. What do you think that was? That was the EIDL money. Boink. And now look at where we're at right now. And this is going all the way back to before 2018. If that doesn't set some kind of alarm in your head, then you're not paying attention. And so think about it. Let's say I would have spent that $10,000 that I got 2 years ago. That money is worth more back then than it is now because of inflation. So that's where I lose, right? But I plan on just paying it back in one lump sum plus the additional fee. So basically, I rented money for a minute. But again, it was the MREs in the cupboard. That's what it was. The rice and beans, so to speak. If I needed it, it was there. But if I don't need it, I'm not touching it. Now I can sit there and say, well, my payments are only, I think, $56 a month, something like that. Yeah, for 30 years. If I called you up today and said, hey, I want you to give me $50 for the next 30 years, you'd probably punch me in the face or tell me I'm stupid or something, right? How many of your businesses are going to last 30 years? So eventually that money's coming up. So maybe that $400 or $500 a month ain't a big deal now, but it definitely wouldn't have been a big deal back in 21 when we were getting insane rates. Because now, if you were paying it back 2 years ago or paying it back a year ago, fuel was 69% cheaper. Your food was 13% cheaper. Your labor was 15% cheaper. But now people aren't going to start paying that back until, well, it's almost too late. And it's going to put a strain on small businesses. So what happens? Small businesses go out, transfer wealth, complete. That's the part that people don't realize. And the fact that I never used the money showed me that I was fine, that I didn't even need to apply. Now, had it been like 50, 60 grand, I probably wouldn't have taken it. And I was discussing this with a friend where they knew somebody that got the loan approved, but then they didn't sign the dotted line, and they did just fine. And so this is something that has to come up. This is something that has to come up in your cost per mile or your cost per day. There's a lot of people that gave up their trucks in the last 6 months. There's a lot of people that lost their trucks in the last 6 months. There are people that just said, you know what, this isn't worth it in the last 6 months. That's part of the cycle. It's part of the purge, right? Why struggle for, $500 a week as an owner operator with all the risk, and I can go work for Walmart for 120 grand a year, or work for a local company for 55 grand a year with no risk. So this is something that you have to calculate. And I don't think a lot of people are even thinking about it. It just kind of sprung in my head yesterday when I was thinking about this. I think it was an email from the SBA that kind of prompted it. So, but this is evidence that we're heading for a huge problem for the working man or woman. Transfer of wealth, complete. That's what this is. Loan shark extraordinaire. So just know, did you incorporate that in your business plan? Do you have a plan to pay that back quicker? Now you say, well, worst case scenario, I'll just pay on it for 30 years. Okay, well, I don't know about you, but the world looked completely different 30 years ago today. I follow a couple of people on Facebook, and they post metal albums that were released. Hey, this is there's a death metal band named Obituary that I'm a big fan, and their album Cause of Death came out 36 years ago. I'm like, oh my gosh. I remember that album like it was yesterday. And we post those kind of things, hey, it's the 28th anniversary of this, and I think back, it puts me back in a frame of mind. What was life like 30 years ago? I went and visited a childhood home last summer when I took my mom's stuff up to upstate New York, and and fields were forests, buildings were gone, and the buildings that were still there looked, like they had been rebuilt. It had been 40 years since I've seen this place, right? A lot of changes happened in 30 years. Debt is the currency of slaves. That's a lot of slavery going on right there, right here. By giving people cash of $50 to $150,000, or however, I don't know what the limit was, but let's just say 100. I know people have gotten 100. People that don't even know how to manage their own business got these loans. What do you think they did with that money? I remember watching another YouTuber, and somebody called into his show and said that they had paid off their truck and trailer. Guess what? That's on the list of things that you can't do with that money. So it's kind of a serious situation that maybe a lot of people aren't thinking about. I haven't seen one YouTube video about this recent. Why do you think they kept deferring it? Oh, don't worry about it. You can pay me back later. Imagine Guido telling you, don't worry about it. You'll pay me back later. That's essentially what the government was doing. Don't worry about it. Just keep doing what you're doing. Everything's fine. Just pay me back later. You're all right. So I hope that you went ahead and paid it back in the last year when rates were sky high. That was the design. The deferment was allowing you to pay it back quickly. And guess what? With inflation and the trillions of, you know, save the government, save the population money, that $600 check you might have gotten from the government because you have a kid, that kind of stuff. Stimulus money, that's the word I was looking for. Yeah, that's got to be paid back in one way or another. Debt is the currency of slaves. If I have to get a loan for $80,000 to buy another truck, now I have to work to pay that truck off. Is that truck going to last while I pay it off? Only if I double up on payments. Depreciation only goes 3 years, maybe a little bit on the fourth. So the $80,000, $90,000 truck you got a loan for, does it have a warranty? Because now, if it doesn't, guess what? Now you're getting thousands of dollars in repairs. And trucks average between $15,000 and $25,000 a year for repairs and maintenance. That's a fact. I've got the numbers to prove that. No warranty, huge repairs, and the government's going to start wanting their money. And you can't bankrupt yourself out of it, bankruptcy yourself out of it. Yeah. I'm hoping that some of you are having this oh crap moment right now. And you're going to get on it. Let me look at some comments here. A lot of people in here. We got 50 people in here. Thank you very much. Hit the thumbs up, please. Stuart, I did not apply for the EIDL loan. Just the principle of not believing in government support. Always felt like it was a setup. Now the economy's in the toilet, and you have to pay back. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't on board at first, but a friend of mine convinced me, and I was like, yeah, maybe, I don't know, and then I was approved for 10,600. I was like, why not? I get an advance on a credit card, pay that back if I wanted to, 0 0 score, but don't have to do that because I didn't use it. Good morning. Sorry I'm late. I was backing in dock. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, Shannon, don't watch YouTube while backing into a dock. So good on you. Everybody's saying hi to Shannon. Shannon's been a Snorelord fan here lately, and I appreciate her sharing the channel out and everything else. She's been checking out my metal videos on the OG. This is no surprise. We have just come off the back of record low interest rates and a record stock market. I agree, Shannon. I resemble this statement. I ask myself this sometimes, and I hesitate to get in debt heavily. Always hesitate. I'm only participating in the social contract for hot water on demand and some occasional air conditioning. Yeah, there you go. Grafton, what's up? Denise White, how's it going? Been a while. Hope all is well with you and yours. I'm doing all right. Hope you're figuring things out. I know that you had a couple of mishaps and you had to deal with, so hope you're doing well. Why would you ever take a loan where the government or lender tells you what you can do with the money? Moronic. Well, I mean, look, I got financing for a trailer, back when I got into this game, and it says on the contract, hey, you can't lease this out to anybody else. You can't rent this out. This is not a rental trailer loan. This is for you and yours. So, I mean, a lot of loans have stipulations like that. Home loans, your first, what's it, HUT loans are like that. It's almost like student loans hand out while you are vulnerable and now you're a slave to the government. Exactly, Stuart. Exactly. I got 70K in EIDL and now I don't have a business. Had a head-on collision with a drunk driver. Current market value affected what insurance pay me for my equipment. Frankie, I'm sorry to hear that, and I hope you're okay. And see, Frankie demonstrates that you could have everything together, but something external happens that takes you out. And so, what are your payments going to be on that 70K, Frankie? I'm curious. Gold is the currency of kings. Silver is the currency of gentlemen. Barter is the currency of plebes, and debt is the currency of slaves. Debt is for good money managers that get out here and work. Don't understand why people are having so many problems. Look, debt can be a tool. I get that. The whole cash versus credit debates, they're meaningless to me because you got to utilize both, because that's what I try to do. There's a time and place for everything, but as America has demonstrated, we have, and this graph shows, self-control is a huge problem. I know a lot of people that tell me, oh yeah, I had a credit card 5 years ago, but I maxed it out, so I won't get one because I can't trust myself with one. Where does that narrative come from? What caused that? What deep subliminal messages where you can't control yourself simply because you think you have free money? And look, I've fallen victim to that. I've had major credit card debt in the past. Wife almost divorced me over it. So, I mean, that's a common problem, obviously, as this graph shows. Rick, that's funny. He's him and his press secretary don't seem to be on the same page on a lot of stuff. Back in 2023, be impatient. Thanks. Okay. Oh, you're gonna be back in 23. Good deal. But did they tell you trailer can only be blue or only has super singles? If you got a trailer loan, they don't tell you how it has to be a dry box or flatbed. Well, the whole point, Cool Truckin', since you're being argumentative, is that there are loans, there are stipulations on loans, and because it's government money that was designed to help save you, you couldn't go out and just blow it. That's kind of what they were saying. Just like, if you borrow $100 from your dad or mom, and then you went out and bought cigarettes and rum with it, eventually she's not going to give me $100 anymore, or she shouldn't. If they do that, if she does, it's enabling, right? You have to be able to. Yes, credit isn't. Look, if you're a truck owner running a business with a 600 credit score, there's going to be some struggles. I'm not saying it can't be done, but there's definitely some struggles. I'm not the kind of person that says you can't do this without blah blah blah. I'm not that guy. $321 for the next 30 years starting in December. And I imagine that the job you have now, Frankie, will not help you, will not allow you, after inflation and whatever other debts you might have, won't allow you to triple up those payments. Right? Thanks for making my pay. Why take the loan? Yeah, you're right, Cool Trucking. You're right. You know I love you. Joe said, pandemic is over. Yep. And then the press secretary said that he didn't say that. So that's a whole different topic for a whole different day for a different channel. So, what's up, Pale Rider? How's it going? I'm behind on your videos, and I apologize. Everybody go check out Pale Rider TV's channel. All 51 of you. So, let's go over some low board stuff. Because now you got to make some money. It is Wednesday. This week is flying by. Monday was kind of an interesting day. Monday is the day that you see if they're still trying to lower the rates or not. Some places were, some places weren't. Booking ahead is key, right, Shannon? Booking ahead is key. And if you think you're leaving money on the table by going early, by booking early, you're really not, especially if it's Friday. Book your Friday load today if you can. Because Friday afternoon, they will not budge. They will not move. You're not going to find that one mystery, somebody fell off this load. This absolutely has to go. You're not going to find that. Because if a broker runs into a situation that they're in, they're going to call the trucks that they know first. I'll give you a perfect example. I know somebody that works for a carrier. They do a combination of contract and spot. They use spot to get them to their contract places. And their particular dispatcher worked for a big brokerage for a long time and has so many connections there. And so what he allowed to do is he found the person that still works at said brokerage and says, hey, I've got 100 trucks at your disposal. Hook me up. That's 100 loads that don't get on the low board. So there's a lot of that. So those are the people that get called when there's a rescue load. Is it possible? Yeah. Post your truck and see if anybody bites. It's kind of like bass fishing. You go to one part of the lake and you cast, you find nothing. You troll for a little bit, you find nothing. But then sometimes if you're in the right spot and you just put your pole in the water and troll a little bit, let them come to you, boom, now you're catching fish. It's the same concept. All right, 48065 is my code. If you want to sample this awesome 123 low board, you can look at the density list, density map. You can search for loads and have all the tools. Profit calculator, it's all there. Credit checks, it's all there. So this is for all trailers. Let's switch this to van. Apply. There you go. There's Van. A lot more orange coming up than green. So be aware. Some volumes have increased, like in these areas, but then some volumes have decreased, like in these areas. So this is Van. So I want to know why Washington's green, but not Oregon. Finding the answers to those questions are important. Texas is green, but you're going to take a hit coming out because there's a lot of freight out there, but a lot of freight that's being taken by trucks that can run cheaper than you. All right, same thing with Southeast, Georgia, Florida. You won't take that $1.30 mile to come out of Florida. So somebody else will because they got a contract of something that comes out of Michigan that pays them $4 a mile. So yeah, they're going to take that $1.30 to go back up there so they can protect the profit from the Michigan load. That's how that works. Deadheading out does not protect the profit. So see what I have to say about this. Tremendous difference in trucking with money and trucking for money. There you go. Thomas Wilson, thanks. Good of you to see you. See ya. Booked until Friday. Good deal. Glad I'm in a company truck with no loan. Although I would like my own truck. Low board is boring. I was going to do a drum video for you, Thomas, but I had to go to the ER. I had to take my son to the ER instead. So maybe that'll happen this weekend. Got to roll. Heading back down to the border. Well, Pale Rider, be safe. Those border towns can be kind of violent. I'm out of the truck, but still sign on to the boards and listen to Snorelord's Take on Freight Daily. I'm glad. No, it's the corporations that are killing the market. They're creating the market in their favor. I've never had time in the truck to watch the low boards. Now I do. CDN, good morning. Could you do reefer boards? Yes, we could do that. I was going to get to that just for you. This is only for cool trucking, so nobody else look. I'm just kidding. Bing. If you're a reefer, those are the states you want to be in. Check the rates. If you're going to do, like, say, Illinois to Texas, check the rates coming out. Make sure that your 2 or 3 loads that you put together, the back and forth of the triangle, allows you the profit that you need on all 3 loads or all 2 loads. And if it's consistent, if it's long, let's say you're going to go from, like, say, Washington to Wisconsin and back, make sure that it makes sense in all miles, both amounts. And you're definitely going to take a lower rate coming out of Washington to go to Wisconsin, but then Wisconsin and Washington should pay enough so it evens out in the wash. That's called consistency. And with it being long miles, you will always have consistent. Whereas if you're trying to do short game can be consistent, but man, everything has got to go right, and you got to be a load or 2 ahead, at least 1 ahead. But then the long miles, you're running out your clock. So there's your reefer. If you notice, Florida's green, so you should, depending on what that product is, you should be getting at least a better rate out of Florida than you normally would. But I know that when I check other low boards, the volumes out of Florida are just horrendous when it comes to reefer, like 1,000 to 1 to 100. This is showing 114 outbound, 457 inbound, and 31 intrastate. So that's a better ratio than, say, what DAT will show. Well, take care, Steve. Got to call Kenworth to see if trucker's ready. Had the DPF SCR replaced and serviced for the winter. Good deal. Well, that was probably expensive too, but well, but I know you, man. You've got it handled, right? Pigtail, what's up? So I mean, and what? So the EIDL thing. I hope you've made good decisions with that loan if you got one, and I hope that you're able to recover from paying back that loan because right now things are kind of tough. Let's go to flatbed, step deck. We'll combine them. Always the southeast. Now, here's the thing with flatbed, and I want you to pay attention a little bit. Um, I'm now starting. I follow a few Facebook pages on flatbed. Now, here's the thing with Facebook. Okay, it's a necessary evil. I'll look at the rate per mile masters, rate chasers, rates and lanes. There's a couple of flatbed specific pages that I'm a part of because I want to learn that part of the industry because I'm going to be dispatching flatbed here in about a month or next month actually. This month is almost over. Crap. And so I want to learn, right? And my strategy for the flatbed is to not even hopefully not even utilize the low boards because I'm working on direct stuff. But anyways, now the flat, so about 6 months ago is when you started seeing people complain on the rate per master, rate masters, rate per mile, whatever, all those pages, rates and lanes, talking about how everybody's, underbidding me and da 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 da, and everybody, and I see this every cycle. Okay. All right. So now I'm starting to see the flatbedders. They're posting screenshots of posted rates and they're freaking out now. They were the last ones to freak out. So their rates are dropping. Not tremendously, but enough that people are starting to complain. So just keep that in mind that no platform other than Tanker is immune to this. I think Tanker is still strong. Tanker's a whole different ballgame. You don't see, I don't even see, I don't know if Tanker's even on here. Let me look here. You got RGN. Oh, there's Tanker. So let's do Tanker here real quick. Now I expect a lot of red because I doubt that you don't see a whole lot of tank freight on the spot market. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what that looks like for tanker. But here's the thing with tank freight though, especially food grade. You could take a load out of Missouri, take it to California, deadhead to Dallas, and still be incredibly profitable. There's no such thing as a backhaul, or there's very little evidence of a backhaul, as you can see, when it comes to tanker freight. I know several people in the tanker world. Pneumatic Braid is one of them. Tanker freight's usually reserved for the mega carriers. Unless you're doing, local milk farm or whatever. So this is tanker freight. It's a whole different ballgame. If I ran as a tanker owner operator, it would be for a maker. It would be for somebody like Schneider or somebody like that. Most of that's contract. They're not going to let Joe Schmo that might have the right equipment haul your chemical hazmat from Illinois to Washington. That's what you get out of the spot market. They don't want to set up like that. So tanker freight tends to be a little bit more stable. So now let me unshare the screen. I'm gonna show something else here. This is not a low board. I'm gonna show some pictures here. All right, here's some graphs from FreightWaves. Okay. Outbound tender reject, which measures capacity in market, rose slightly to 5. So that's that holiday freight. Outbound tender reject, which is the loads that hit the spot market, climbed to 5.6. Flatbed outbound, look at that. Flatbed outbound tender reject fell 16.2%. So that correlates to everybody bitching on Facebook about it. Imagine that. So that's the thing. I read these things and go, yeah, I'm seeing that with the people. I'm seeing that with the drivers. I'm seeing that with the pulse. I'm seeing that with when I talk to brokers. The reefer outbound climbed to 6.7. Now I said in Monday's feed that a lot of processed food was shipping now. Ice cream, frozen dinners, the frozen stuff for your Thanksgiving dinner to make it easy, frozen meat, those turkeys and all that stuff is shipping right now, getting prepared for the holidays. But gee, Steve, it's not even October yet. Yeah, that stuff was shipping last month. This is because of the recent surge in autumn produce. So there you go. It would not be surprising to see reefer outbound tender rejects rising over the coming weeks. So reefer's going to be banging a little bit better. All right, here's some graphs. There's your freight volumes. Everything's on a downward trend. This is Van outbound tender reject index. There you go. The takeaway here is that import volumes are still higher than 2019 and 2020 levels on this graph. So, but look at this, guys. This is the roller coaster. This is the market. This is the trucking industry. This is the market. Okay, this is the roller coaster you sign up for if you're in the spot market. All right, this is your reefer market conditions. On this particular one, I believe I don't know if that's red. Red is good, blue is bad. Yeah. In the different shades. So that's your reefer. Bill, that's reefer. Flatbed, southeast. Very similar to what the 123 shows. Look at Trivan. Blue is bad, people. That's why these brokers ain't budging for the most part. Because of that. That's why you're fighting for 225 a mile. So that's and look, I'm not trying to be doom and gloom. It's just this it's these graphs should show you that's just the nature of this beast that you've signed up for. And it's all economy driven. So, anyways, that's just my report. So, hopefully, I've made you guys think about your EIDL loans, and I hope that you've made some good decisions, or you have good intentions of good decisions. Hold on, my cat wants out. All right, everybody's talking to each other. Shannon, take care. Hang in there, y'all. Be careful. Trailer trucking today. Let's see. Florida is made for spending money, not making it in trucking. That is absolutely true. If you're talking about tanker, yes, most tanker freight is contracted. Reefer game on. Yeah, reefer's up. What does EIDL stand for? That's a good question. Gonna make me look like an idiot. I know what you're doing. Oh, I'm sure it's in there. Economy injury disaster loan. Economic injury disaster loan. So in other words, if your business was affected negatively by the vid, or let's say you got sick and you couldn't work because you got the vid, then that's where that came in. So that's what that stands for. Now there were people that took not only the EIDL loan, but they took the PPP loan and they collected unemployment. And I know that there were several people that did not run their trucks because, and this was literally said in a couple of YouTube videos with some people, that they couldn't afford the breakdown if it happened with as low as the rates were. That's the wrong time to do that math. And it is tough. I mean, if you're only netting $300 a day and then suddenly you blow a tire and that's $1,000 service call and that happens, super single, you're looking at a $2,000 tire repair on the road. I was told by a trucker, not truck, a tow truck guy, that if they come out to fix a super single flat, it is a minimum $350. This was like 3 years ago or 4 years ago when I had the Peterbilt with the super singles. Because I had a flat tire right there in front of my house. So the guy came out, patched the hole, and minimum $350. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Yep. And it's hard to accept the fact that you just ran 3 loads for 3 days and all of a sudden it's gone because of that one tire repair. That's tough. I get it. But all businesses are like that. You might, if you run retail, a retail brick and mortar shop, you might have 3 days where you don't sell anything, and then you sell it all on Friday. If you're running a carbolicious bakery, how much food are you throwing away at the end of the day? That's all excess waste. That's cost, right? So it's part of being in business. Trucking's no different. It's all a struggle, and struggle makes you stronger, right? So any expenses you incurred, you can spend that money on. There, I don't know. I will not state the rules. It was right there in the loan. I did not read that. I was told, there's a couple of YouTube videos that were pretty legit that told you what you can or can't spend that money on. And yes, you can do you couldn't. I know that you couldn't pay off equipment because they didn't want the money being taken away from the banks, right? You couldn't purchase new equipment with it. You can use it for payroll and you can use it for repairs, I believe. But beyond that, I don't want to be misquoted. I don't want somebody going, "Well, Snorelord said that you can use it for this." Well, don't listen to YouTubers, number one, on something that important. Keep reviewing your numbers and look where you can trim, especially with home costs. Keep down. Things may be worse before they get better. Be ready to take advantage if rates go up for a minute. Everybody was salivating, on that rail strike. Not realizing that rail strike, all that would have done was kept a lot of bad businesses afloat for a little bit longer, making us go through this cycle again later. So, at any rate, I want to thank Tennessee Trucking because he gave me this chair. If you notice, it's round, it's not as high, it's very quiet. Notice I'm not squeaking. It's very comfortable. When you're overweight like me, you tend to go through chairs a little bit longer or a little bit faster. I'm sorry. Hello, caveman. Henry, what's up, man? What's up, Henry? Let's see. Let's look at what can you spend your money. What can you use for EIDL? Do. Uses working capital to make regular payments for operating expenses, including payroll, rent, mortgage, utilities, and other ordinary business expense items. Expansion of eligible use of funds. COVID EIDL funds are now eligible. This is from the website, SBA website, are now eligible to prepay commercial debt and make payments on federal business debt. So they're changing the rules as you go. So that's something that you should be aware of. But there's all kinds of resources from the SBA.gov website. Here, let's do this here. I'll put this up. That way, don't take my word for it. Don't take my word for it. Of course, that's not going to come up. I don't know if that's going to come up or not. Looks like it turned it into 2. Home costs are variable nowadays. Property taxes and utility rates are increasing everywhere. Yes, utility. That's the other thing, right? So your heat's going to go up. Your gas has already gone up. Your propane's going to go up. Your electricity's gone up. If you live in a drought area, water's gone up. We had about 2 months of no rain around here, so that's going to be fun. And so add that to your EIDL loan payback money on your costs. Good show today. Got to go book a load to Springfield, maybe. Yeah, do it. We'll hang out. That would be wonderful. Take you to Bass Pro. Good morning, Steve. Great to see you. The insurance company said that the check was in the mail. As soon as I get that, I'll put the truck in the shop and we'll go from there. Cooling down in Arizona. Good deal, man. And Paul is one of our light trucking contractors, and he does everything right. He runs his business good. He's survived lower rates. He's utilizing his awesome dispatch service to help him out when he needed, and he did everything right. And then some Joe Schmo wiped his truck out there at the truck stop, and he even parked in a good spot. So I mean, these are the things that you have to account for. A lot of people are like, oh well, I'm a great business person. I run everything by the book. Da 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 da. But what about that guy next to you? What about that drunk driver that hits you head on? What about that snowstorm that creates a pileup that you're caught in the middle of for 3 days? Can your business survive that? And a lot of businesses can't. A lot of people are one wreck away from losing everything. I mean, we all are as a truck driver. You could be one wreck away from losing everything. You're probably sitting there like, oh, I'm going to look for somebody on YouTube while I'm driving on my phone, and then boom, you're wiping out a stalled vehicle that had a family in it. So I mean, there's so many different things that can happen, and that's part of the risk. And so risk versus reward. Right now, a lot of people aren't feeling the reward, depending on what your goals are. But there are a lot of people that are. I mean, there's a transfer of wealth happening somewhere, right? What side of the fence are you on that? Trucking is half business, hard, annoying, lame, frustrating. Oh, that's funny, Sterling. Everybody check out Sterling's channel. He's got some good potential. I mean, he really does. He goes live too and lets people come in. Clyde, good morning. Hope you're doing well with you being the boss. Next president will be elected by EIDL loan forgiveness. And that's the thing. They did do a little bit of a forgiveness thing. They did you were compensated if you lived in a bad neighborhood, that kind of thing. I forget what the circumstances were, because I kept getting emails. Hey, you might not have to pay this back. Here's the stipulations, and I'm like, yeah, that doesn't work. Okay, well, thanks for trying. So, anyways, guys, I got to get to work. If you don't have any comments, questions, or concerns, if you do, put them in the chat now. I'm not putting up a link. Maybe we'll do that Friday. I hope you guys been enjoying the snippets of the live feeds that I've been doing. I cut up Friday's live feed, turned it into 2 videos. I uploaded them yesterday. One was CDN giving people on pursuing customers and dealing with brokers and dealing with contract freight, direct customers. And then we had Sage and Rob, CDN go at it in another video. 2 brokers having a very passionate discussion about a lot of things, about primarily the Sage Robinson nuclear verdict that a friend of mine sent me a link to the actual article that's, that they're still not over with that. So who knows? There's a lot of legal risk in running a trucking anything, whether you're a mechanic shop, a truck driver, broker, doesn't matter. There's a lot of risk of what we do. My dad used to say, keep your overhead down. Yep. Probably still does. I didn't ask him. Paul gives me a thumbs up. So it's look, here's the deal, man. As you saw from those graphs, it's a roller coaster. The big corporations are against you. Okay? Just know that. But, you could be the smallest fish in the ocean. You just got to be more aware of your surroundings. And and just realize that things are going to change. Things are going to not always be good, but at the same time, they're not always going to be bad. And the biggest enemy you have out here is not the government. It's not the corporations. It's you. You are your worst enemy. Ask me how I know. Because in all reality, let's say you do everything right and an external circumstance like someone hitting your truck or a head-on collision happens. Yes, that was out of your control. But how do you face that? How do you react to that? That's what makes you strong. That's what creates strength. That struggle is what's going to make you stronger. And if you're struggling right now, I feel you. Been there, done that. But there's always hope. Start working on yourself. Work on your mental health. Work on your physical health. Work on your spiritual health. Work on your financial health. If you just focus on those 4 things, life will be better. It's as simple as that. It truly is. Don't ignore the warning signs. And it, it's wow. Look at you, Trucker Gal. Thank you very much. Oh, we're frozen. Yay, we're back. Shoot. Wow, 32, you stuck around. Cool. All right. Thanks for sticking around. That was dumb. Trucker gal, thank you very much. Have a blast night. I will. We will. We'll have some. What she's referring to is we're going to go see Slipknot tonight. Taking the youngest. It'll be her first metal concert, so I think she'll enjoy it. Um, we have gone to concerts. Well, my wife took. My daughter's a big fan of. I think they saw My Chemical Romance, and I think they saw a 21 Pilots. I think, but she's also a metalhead, so. Um, So station break. Yeah, there you go. If anyone has kids or friends that are under 18, do everything you can to encourage them to go to a technical school, college, or university. Getting this while young can pay off their life. Yep. What's your favorite metal jam? There's Trucker Gal. I own about 2,000 CDs, so my music taste is kind of weird. So I'm a big death metal guy. So here I'm gonna do this for you. Hold on. Since you're new, Trucker Gal, let me try this. If you want to hear what I used to play, there's a link. There you go. There's a link, gal. There's a link to my old death metal band. So I'm a big death metal guy, but here lately I've been listening to a lot of like Crowbar, Chemis, Khemmis. But I also listen to a lot of like Nordic Viking music too. So I'm either listening to Wardruna or Cannibal Corpse. It's kind of weird. Big, Maiden's probably my favorite band of all time. So, your the short answer to your question is Iron Maiden's probably my all out favorite band of all time. Them and Metallica. So, um, but I like power metal. I like Halloween, Manowar. I like stuff like that. I also like you know old school death metal. I like some of the newer stuff. I'm every now and then I'll be in the mood for some technical death metal like Obscura or Origin or something like that. And Apnea, we tried to do a little bit of both. We tried to be a little bit technical and we tried to be a little bit just groove oriented. Where you remember the riffs, not just riff collections. And but my heart right now is in the doom metal, like Crowbar, Chemist, Pallbearer, stuff like that. Very slow plotting, the world sucks kind of music. so, um, so there you go. Steve is a welder and can always go back to trucking. Completely collapses. Trucking will never collapse, and I would probably go back to driving a school bus. Yes, I was a school bus driver before I go back to welding. Welding's bad on your health. My opinion, tech schools are way better than a university. That's true. And look, the schools push universities because that's who donates the money, right? And the rich people donate the money to the universities. So they create the narratives because they are the donors. If you give $1 million to a school, you can pretty much do what you want and tell that school what you want done. That's why you see the crazy narratives that we see now. Thank you. Thank you. Truck I posted some of his metal videos on my community page the other day. I appreciate that. Iron Maiden. I got the trooper with the British flag on my wall there in the bedroom. Motorhead's good. I'm not a huge Motorhead fan. I mean, I wasn't like all crazy about them like everybody else was, but I do appreciate them. But I do not own any Motorhead CDs. My sister is a school bus driver. It's a fun job. I mean, I like kids. I get along with kids, and of course, I didn't have the big long beard or whatever back then. But it's not like I show up at work with the Cannibal Corpse T-shirt or anything like that. Um, but my 3 rules on the bus were respect me, respect the equipment, and respect yourselves. And that was my rules. So where other bus drivers were trying to do assigned seating, I would say, all right, on a half load, I would be like, okay, you guys can sit anywhere you want, but only in these 6 rows. And kids are creatures of habit. They'll sit in the same spot every single day. And if they don't, there's something up. That's how you do that. And that kind of psychology allowed me to have a great route with a great batch of students. And I enjoyed that job extremely. I loved it. I did not love the money though. I mean, that's a retirement job that you do for the benefits. That's what that is. And that's half the drivers were ex Teamster guys or Teamster guys, that were collecting their pension but needed the insurance. That's essentially what most school bus drivers were back in that time. Now it's a lot of it are just people that don't want to work for Burger King or whatever. What's a CD? Shannon. My favorite band is Snorelord and the Bob Thompson West Texas Troubadours. Great country band. Public school kids are talking vectors of viruses, but also helps build your immune system. I've avoided this, COVID thing up until Labor Day, with no jab. Oh my gosh, Steve! I can't believe you just said that. So there's that, right? But um, now the little kids, especially, my students were primarily middle school. I did elementary was my first route, middle school was my second route, but then they gave me, check this out. There's a school here in Springfield that houses all the bad students that have been kicked out of the other middle schools. They kind of centralize them. Guess who was in charge of picking them up all over the city? Me. And you know what? There was only one day that I had a problem. All the other bus drivers that do their external routes with them all had issues. They all had to call security. They all had to call police. I did not do any of that. I had to lecture them once, and they felt bad at the end of the day. Brad, good morning. Thanks, Steve. Got to go help pour concrete on my for now job. You guys be safe. Keep it rolling. All right, Paul. Keep me posted. But Shannon, you don't need to go to a big university. If you surveyed 9 people, 3 with the university, 3 tech school, 3 no post school, a degree will provide highest salary and long term. So, Miss Mallory, good morning. All right, you're just in time for me to watch me in this video. Trucker Gal, thank you for the $50. I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody that's been in here. We've held a pretty good crowd. If you don't mind, hit the thumbs up. It helps get the word out. Watch the video again on background, let the ads play, do all that stuff. It helps the algorithms, and that's, I'm trying to get my message out there. You know, it's I agree, Sterling. Kids are cool the other side. And thank you, Tennessee, for the chair. This chair is awesome. And thank you for the super chat. Thank you for watching. And for those of you watching the replay, I appreciate you too. Hopefully I want to do more interviews. Hopefully I want to do more segments where I bring people in the live feeds and you can talk about your day, you can talk about your expertise, or you can, talk about whatever. So with that being said, thanks for watching. And also make sure you subscribe to my OG channel. It'll be probably in the description or in a pinned comment in some of the other videos. Or just type in YouTube Snorelord OG and it will pop up. So we're trying to get that channel up. That's my oldest channel. And I'm trying to get those numbers up. If I can get that one to 1,000 subs, so I can go live with that one without the StreamYard. Also, that one's going to be more about non-truck related stuff, such as the tools, and food and diet and strengthening your inner core. So with that being said, thanks for watching. Be positive. Strength for today, hope for tomorrow, and I'll leave you with this beautiful, beautiful song that will bring a tear to your ears. There you go. I almost said eyes, but that would have been dumb. There you go. Peace.